Good Shabbos, everyone. We begin our service, page 142, with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon, mi melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Turn back to page 120, and I'm sorry for the surprise, but I'm going to invite up the Macmillan and Monheit clan to light our candles, if you don't mind. Ooh. Hmm? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat.
And for those who are able, we rise together for our Kiddush, 123 miles. I think you're 21? No? Nope? Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzah banu בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר יציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת
Chaim.
לחיים.
Together, the bottom of page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. We turn to Psalm 95, 131.
לכו נרנן על אדוני נריע לצור אישנו לכו נרנן על אדוני נריע לצור אישנו נקדם פניו בתודה בזמירות נריע לו כי אל גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים אשר בידו מחקרי הארץ בתועפות הרים לו אשר לא הים והוא עשהו ויבשת ידיו יצרו כי הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו אמר איתו וצאן ידו. We sing together 138, the pinnacle of Kabbalat Shabbat, Lecha Dodi. Lechandon-di likrat kalai yaranai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai aidai dai lechandon-di likrat kalai yaranai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai shamor vezachor vedibur echad השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לחנדון-די לקראת קלה ירני 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 פני שבת נקבלה עיני לחנדון-די לקראת קלה ירני 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 פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשם בתחילה לחנדון-די לקראת קלה ירני 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 פני שבת נקבלה עיני לחנדון-די לקראת קלה ירני 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 פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי התעוררי כי באורך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, ידני 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 פני שבת, נקבלה ידני לך אדוני לקראת כלה, ידני 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 פני שבת, נקבלה לבריאות.
Means bless you. Sei gesund in Yiddish, and we rise together to greet the Sabbath bride.
Oi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha u'v'tzolam, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, lech adondi likrat kala, Adonai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela, Adonai, lech adondi likrat kala, Adonai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabela.
The bottom of page 145. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. We say right here, Chetzi Kaddish 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה. בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן מעלמה, ואמרו Amen.
We rise together 146.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yadadai nai nai, 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 yadadai nai nai. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed, Le'olam Va'ed. Yadadai nai nai, 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 yadadai nai nai.
Please be seated. The top of page 149. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim.
On the next page. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shochveinu uvkumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach medivrei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed, ki heim chayenu be'orech yameinu, uvahem nehgeh yomam balayla. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam, Leolam Ba'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Sorry about the pulpit folder. We should have had a greeter. Apologize for that. Staff member. Top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we so believe that we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our Michamocha on the next page.
Yam bye bye mimbidi bye abba bye bim bye. Yam bye mimbidi bye abba bye bim bye. Yai bye abba bye bim bye. Yai bye abba bye bim bye. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilo tosefele, Nora tehilo tosefele, Malchutecha ra'u banecha, Pokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Elianu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch le'olam ba'ed.
The top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, wade into your will. Our Hashkivenu 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, V'hamideinu shomreinu l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
The top of page 163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Vishamru 162.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
For those who are able, we rise together for tefillah, top of page 166.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Together at the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with the Ritzei on the next page.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ama tekabel u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael amecha el karov lechol konei af penei elav עבדך וחוננו, שפוך רוחך עלינו, ותחזן עינינו בשובך לציון. ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון, לציון, לציון.
The top of page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make a temperate reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Betov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael. בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We take a few moments for private prayer. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
At this point in our service, we think of those in our community, those especially who are in need of healing of body or spirit. Sandra Berman, Debbie Boggs, Gail Bowen, Kent Bricker, Rick Cosby, Vicky Goldstein, Sophia Berry Gordon, Shelley Hayes, Katie James, Arsen Kelahoff, David Kraselsky, Virgil Luger, Michal Mirzowitz, Ron Ostreicher, Lex Oversteegen, Chad Robinson, Lee Rogoff, Leslie Rosenwasser, Gary Schiff, Alan Unger, and Brenda Weinstein. For those who are with us tonight, if you're thinking of a loved one or friend who's in need of healing and you wish to share their name out loud, we invite you to do so either by rising or as my eyes meet yours.
Sophia and Alex Benet, James Goodman, Jerry Turkey, Norman Zabel, David Benton, Bob
Ellen Dean.
For those names mentioned out loud and for those names still in our hearts, and Misha Berach 371.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Mekor habracha le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishem Beirach Imoteinu Mekor habracha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We want to welcome up our high school graduates. Owen, Benji, come on up. We just want to say some significant words of wisdom. Mississippi State, University of Alabama, we're very proud of you, and I want to tell you the great quote from one of the greatest rabbis in our tradition, a rabbi of the name of Rodney Dangerfield. And he said in the most critically acclaimed movie called Back to School, which is a true story, which takes place at the University of Wisconsin. If you haven't seen it, it's a true story. You've never seen it? Okay, it's a true story. Don't shake your head no at me. He said in the scene to his dad said to his father, "I'm getting C's." And Rabbi Dangerfield said to his son, "C's, top 3. But we're very proud of you. When you go off, it's hard. It's going to be hard for your parents especially. And I know it's just a phone call away or a long drive home. But just know that our Temple Emanu-El community is so proud of you and all your aspirations and dreams. And when you get to college, we have some gifts for you. It's a flask? I'm just kidding. What is it?
Well, it's a laundry bag that you can carry home on your back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also answers from Ed Feinstein, tough questions that Jews ask. So a reference book for tough questions that you may have on your mind.
See, the educator prevented me from giving you guys flasks. You guys would fill with grape juice. But go to college, enjoy it, be responsible. But above all, do Jewish life. Are you going to sing to them? Okay, now you get to sing to. So that's Cantor's turn. Here's your presents. Make good decisions.
Thank you.
Go Bulldogs. Are you guys the Bulldogs? Okay, so if Nancy Hamrick were here, she'd be really happy. That's the only Mississippi State graduate I know. You don't. Everyone's you. Okay.
May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May you be kept in safety and love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. 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 May this be your blessing. Amen. Nisiya
In case you
Tova.
were wondering, I was telling them when I went to college, of the fine student that I was, I did my laundry once a week by myself, okay? And I asked Benji, I couldn't get the answer out. I didn't know if he was going to do it or he was going to go home. Owen, you got a bit of a challenge. He's pretty good at laundry? All right, I'm going to Drosh.
Yep.
He can do laundry, he just can't fold.
You can fold? You know, they make these apparatus things where you like put the t-shirt in and it folds and it comes out perfectly. But the problem is I can't figure out how to use the thing. So, and then God willing, you get married in life and your wife comes home with black stretchy pants from Lululemon. If you put them in the dryer, hasta shalom, the world is coming to an end. So figure out what has to be, air dry, am I right? And what can go in the dryer. Air dry everything from Lululemon, okay? That's it says in the Talmud right there. Okay. So when Mark crops this, beginning about now we're going to go into serious mode. Shabbat shalom, everybody. 2,000 years ago, certain Romans didn't like the Jews. And in their writings, they accused the Jews of first being atheists. This is fascinating. Accusing the Jews because they did not believe in the gods. We believed in one God. Second, they mocked the Jews because we didn't eat pig. Third, they mocked the Jews because we did not engage in infanticide. The Greco-Roman culture, they engage in infanticide. That's the killing of babies. We preserve life. Josephus, the historian, priest, general from the first century, he used his writings to defend Jewish life. But during the first century, Jewish life was tough. Many of us were murdered and killed and enslaved. But we survived because we're strong, and we figured it out because we pivoted. And then in the rise of Christendom, the rise of patristics, these are the church fathers, Augustine, Jerome, Bartholomew. Horrible polemical writing against the Jewish people. Vile. We were deemed second class, third class, to be mocked. We were subjugated. We lived outside of the city. We were tortured. We were killed. But guess what? Because we believe in the foundation of Jewish life, because Jewish people and our self-determination, whatever it looked like then, we never gave up. We survived. '12th century, in Norwich, England, a 12-year-old boy named William went missing. And it's this pivotal moment in history where in Norwich, England, they accused the Jews of the blood libel, of kidnapping children and using their blood for the Pesach offering or the matzah. This had enormous consequences for us. Of course, under the feudal system, more pogroms, more riots, more death and destruction, but we survived, again, because of Jewish self-determination, the belief that we needed to take care of Jewish life, and we're not giving up. We go on to the next century. A lot of people don't talk about this. The host desecration. This was a made-up claim that Jews would take the communion wafer, engage in some voodoo against it, like stabbing it, and therefore the Jews would be cursing the Christians who engaged in communion. Totally made up. Enormous consequences. But guess what? We survived. We believed in the Jewish experience. We believed in our tradition, Torah, mitzvahs. We figured it out because we believed in the Jewish world of taking care of our own before we can engage with the rest of the world. We stuck to our, as they say in the South a lot, our kin. And then one of the most vile articles I've ever read in the New York Times by Nicholas Kristof accused the Jews of moral equivalency, comparing what happened to our hostages in Gaza versus Gazan prisoners in Israeli Beit Zuhar, Israeli jails. And the blood libel of this period is accusing dogs of engaging in sexual abuse against Palestinians, something impossible. A couple of years ago, I would have rallied, why are we still reading the New York Times? It intentionally buried the Holocaust. It's done so much pernicious behavior. But I'm not surprised with Nicholas Kristof and the New York Times reporting. There's a fantastic podcast with Monty Friedman and Dan Senor about how this gets to publication, and you should listen to it. It's on Dan Senor's podcast. But I started doing a little bit of research about where Nicholas Kristof got his source from. So there's a European foundation called Euromed, which is led by Richard Falk. In modern Hebrew, Elizabeth and Yaakov will know what this means. He's a mashtap. Mashtap, is that fair? Mashtap. It's an acronym. He's a collaborator. He's a self-hating Jew who's been accused of the most vile things he's ever said against the Jewish people and made up these sources. And Nicholas Kristof took these sources and went to print. And then if you dig a little bit deeper, this is what in my own research, you just keep on digging and digging. And it took a while. I wanted to know who was funding Euromed, this grotesque NGO that comes up with the most vile and lies about the Jewish people. One of them is Rama Austria, is one of the main funders. And once you start digging into Rama Austria, they're basically a front for the Muslim Brotherhood, which is Hamas, which is Qatar. So, all these things that happen teaches me the following. That the story is not the dogs. The story is not what's going on in Israeli prisons. That's a cultural issue in which we all face as society. But the New York Times itself is doubling down. So I'm going to say something. It's going to be gut-wrenching honest. Jewish lives for the rest of the world do not matter. If this article was written by any other minority group or affinity group, could you imagine the legacy media? Are you wondering why the New York Times isn't covering stories about Islamists killing Nigerian Christians in Africa, thousands and thousands, and just pure silence? This should be the story of nonstop. And while Nicholas Kristof took reporting from Euromed, who took money from an organization which is another organization from the Muslim Brotherhood. This is a failure of the Enlightenment of epic proportion. But here's the other truth. And I want all of us to hear it. Jewish lives don't matter only when it fits the narrative. So during Tree of Life, October of 2019, the Jewish community were outside the steps at Temple Bethel, standing in solidarity with a myriad of interfaith leaders, right? Fit the narrative. White supremacist goes into a synagogue and shoots it up. Fits the narrative. October 7th, our rally at the JCC, strong. The interfaith leaders, the most vile attack against the Jewish people since the Holocaust, small. And here's another thing. Honesty for this congregation. I heard from many of you that you were upset that we did not speak out against a synagogue that was arson in Jackson, Mississippi by a white supremacist. How horrible it is and was my response to that. If that was the case, we would be writing about 40 synagogues throughout the world that were burnt down by radical leftists and Islamists. But why this particular synagogue do they demand justice? Because it was done by a white supremacist, or was it because it was done because it was close to home? And let's say if it was close to home. One of our matriarchs in our community, her daughter and son-in-law were beaten up in the streets of New York because they were Jewish. That's more than close to home. Did this community rally? Did this community show up at protests? Did this community demand insert word blank justice? No. It didn't fit the narrative. And therefore, I wonder what we're supposed to do next. Even before October 7th, I stood here and talked about Sarah Halimi, a blessed memory. I talked about Yosef Newman in Muncie, New York, Jersey City. So many attacks, because when it doesn't fit the narrative, our lives don't matter. And so finally, here is the truth that I want us to live with. The amount of emails I've gotten about the New York Times. The New York Times isn't going anywhere. I'm not going to say it's too big to fail, but the New York Times is not going anywhere. They'll have good reporting, they'll have okay reporting, great reporting, and vile filth reporting. But here's the thing. Just like in our generations past, when they experienced the Romans, the church fathers, the accusations against the church, even in Nazi Germany, the rise of National Socialism, we have always endured. We have pivoted. We believe in the essence of Jewish self-determination and making sure that our people will survive. So in Midtown Manhattan yesterday, I saw a bunch of Jews protesting outside of New York Times. I applaud their efforts. Nothing's going to happen. And therefore, I want to remind them the following. So all the workers at the New York Times, if you ever look at Israel, if you see the beautiful skyline of Tel Aviv that looks like New York City, as they said from the show, Fauda, great scene, where a Palestinian security officer is speaking to his son who he knows is a terrorist, and he says to the son, "Do you see these tall buildings behind us? They're not going anywhere." In 2 weeks, I lose my rabbinical authority here. And for those who are running, would I give this sermon because I'm leaving 2 weeks from now with the risk of what I'm saying? I'd be giving the same sermon wherever I am. That the reason why Jews in generation past thrived is because they took care of their Jewish community. It was paramount. It was first. They ensured to do business with Jews, to take care of other Jews, to make sure that each Jew was able to take care of its own. This was the mantra we had after 1945 to rebuild a destroyed Jewish community. During the great days of the United Jewish Appeal, the AJC, we took care of our own. We did not compromise Judaism for secular political endeavors that yield very to little results. And so I asked us to become the following, is to be the October 8th Jew that is grounded in celebrating our Torah, our mitzvahs, our Shabbos, whatever it takes. Because here's a fascinating fact. During the college protests, those students who stood proudly as Jews, they had three things in common. They went to day school, Jewish summer camp, and Israel. Those three. So for us to continue to write the pages, this congregation, any congregation, is going to have to figure out where our priorities are. Do we focus too much on optics? Are we finally going to take the time to take care of our own? And don't be surprised, in a couple years from now, Nicholas Kristof, I made this up, just like he did. He's going to suggest that the Israelis are using special chemicals from moon rocks that's poisoning Gaza and hummus or some nonsense like that. Just like how they talked about how the Israelis trained dolphins as assassins. Let him write. Let him write. Let him continue to take information from Euromed, and let Euromed get its funding from Nama, Austria, from the Muslim Brotherhood. Because we're not going anywhere. Right away, and we'll do mitzvahs all the time. Remember what we're fighting for. It's Am Yisrael. It's Am Yisrael Chai. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
You're up.
This is our final edition of the Omer game for the year. Very exciting, I'm sure, for everybody. Okay, we are going to start very easy and jump into a lot harder immediately. Okay, the first. Who is the 44th President of the United States of America? Obama. Easy. Here we go. What element has the atomic number 44? This is much harder.
Can you give us a hint?
I'm going to give a couple of hints. I don't know that they're going to help at all. And then I will give you a hint that may actually help. It is not plutonium. Okay. It is a rare, hard, and silvery white transition metal in the platinum group. No. I have not heard it yet, but... Okay, it is used in thick film chip resistors and electrical contacts. That is correct. Ruthenium. Ruthenium. I was going to have to say that if we are about to celebrate a holiday in which we read the book of blank, and it starts with that, so but wonderful work. All right. A famous assassination occurred in 44 BCE. Who was it? Julius Caesar. Excellent. All right.
Ides of March. Brutus. Brutus did it.
I have in front of me I'm sure, very incomplete list of Hall of Fame athletes who wore the number 44. Professional baseball, basketball, football, and I think hockey, though I'm not sure they're all Hall of Famers, to be fair. Anybody want to just shout out any names there? Well, not a Hall of Famer, but you know.
Wrestler. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he grew up here at Temple Emanu-El, playing for
Amazing.
And he was number 44?
Love it. Well, that's more important, so. That's a beautiful thing. Jim Brown, there we go.
Also, one of the best lacrosse players of all time. They had to change the game because of him.
That is absolutely correct. And then they had to.
He just mowed people down and scored. His all-time goal scored in lacrosse at Syracuse University. Sorry.
They changed the rules, yes, that you had to cradle, and then they actually had to reverse the rules because that didn't make any sense. So, all right, so for baseball, we've got the home run king, Hank Aaron, yes, the legit home run king. Not that I have anything against Barry Bonds, because everybody was juicing, but yes, Hank Aaron, the king of home runs. The king of steals. He did not always wear it at 44, but he mostly wore. Not quite. You're close.
Was he all-time walk?
Those are 3 and 4, I believe, on the steals list.
No, Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson, that's correct. And our third baseball Hall of Famer
All-time leading walks, too.
was a top first baseman that I don't know as much about because it was before my time. It's Willie McCovey. All right, if we were to go basketball, I'm just going to list them off at this point. We got Jerry West, Pete Maravich, and George Gervin. So we got 3 big Hall of Famers. In football, we have the duo Ernie Davis and Jim Brown. It's a running back number, John Riggins and Floyd Little. And in hockey, I guess this is for Rabbi, actually.
Give me the team.
Okay, he's most famous in my mind for playing for the Bruins. This is not a Hall of Famer because he's not eligible yet. A defenseman of massive stature. Chara. He did not wear it for Boston, but he wore it for his 2 previous teams in New York and, Ottawa? I think Ottawa. All right, then I'm just going to list these other people because I don't have clues for them. Kimmo Timonen, Brooks Orpik, Jason Arnott, and Chris Pronger. Just some recent 44 wearers. All right, now we're going to take it to the Jewish realm as we always do. There is a holiday in which there are 44 small things that we use on a particular ornament for the total of the holiday. Hanukkah candles, yes, in 1 pack, 44 candles. And here, this is not I can't ask you anything about this, but just a little research I did. Okay, so Maimonides counted the generations in Mishnah Torah of the oral tradition and reached 40, ending with Rav Ashi. But there were later generations of rabbis that added on patriarch generations, which they counted as 4, which was kind of confusing to me because they included our normal 3 generations of patriarchs and Levi as the 4 generations. And so sometimes there are 44 generations of oral law, according to some rabbis. So that was the best I could do on that front. All right, we turn to 570 in our Sidurim, and we recite our blessing for counting the Omer as we rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Hayom arba'a ve'arba'im shehem shisha shavuot u'shnei yamim la'omer. Today is the 44th day, which is 6 weeks and 2 days of counting the Omer.
We remain standing. Olenu 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
On this Shabbat, we recall those who've passed away. In these Shloshim, Barbara Zwick Hirsch, Charlie Russell Jaffe, and Tyler Strassner. And we call the yahrzeits of Jack Morris Adler, Robert Ayland, Lawrence Asherman, Francis Axel, Louis Beck, Doris Brandon, Lily Engel Bookstein, Morris Henry Cooper, Dr. Calvin Davenport Denny, Betty Rubel Elbert, Harry Erdberg, Carly Fasciola, Aletta Filler, Morris Finkel, Irvin Lewis Gottlieb, Harry Held, Dave Hess, Rafik Hirsch, Ray Slaughter Jaffe, Samuel Jospin, Harry Kaplan, Maria Kantz, Elena Kishinevsky, Julian Lichter, Herman Litvin, Dr. Martin S. Litvin, William Michaelov, Rose Schwartz Mitnick, Lawrence Molligarten, Dorothy Perlman, Lena Pinkerson, Louis Rogoff, Lucille Wolf Rosenfeld, Jerry Roughton and Paul Samuelson, Jack Schneiderkraut, Jerry Siegel, Ben Lowell Siegel, Bambi Silver, Gertrude Simon, Fanny Slaughter, Michael Slive, Catherine Steiner, Robert Steinhauer, Alex Sternman, Elena Stern, Martin Stoll, Kay Uston, Wolf Weinberg, and Morton Weissman. May all their memories forever be a blessing. If it is your custom to rise for a Mortis Kaddish, we invite you to do so. 598. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, v'yomad yivrach riotei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru,
Amen.
Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudshah,
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'yimru,
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru,
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru.
Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Good Shabbos. Shabbos.